North Carolina's cruising, then they're holding on for dear life, and I gotta ask, will the real Tar Heels please stand up?
This is David Noel, and you're listening to Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what's up? It's Monday, January 12th, 2026. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Schade. You're joining me at the place to get your Tar Heels content every single day. It's all part of the Locked On Network, now the #1 sports podcast network out there. Thanks for making us your first listener watch to get this Monday going the right way. Special shout out to all you everydayers, all the members of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord, and our insiders as well. This episode's brought to you by FanDuel. The college football playoff is here, and FanDuel is the best place to get in on the action all playoff long. Visit FanDuel.com to get your college football playoff profit boosts every single game day. You guys, I'm like on the verge of laughter. I just watched this video. It's like a commercial for some diner, ma and pa diner, and this older couple, like the guy's supposed to say this line about buttery, flaky crust, something like that. He can't get it, and I don't know why, but it's the most insane thing. And I'm like, I just want to go back and watch it 87 more times. Anyway, it's a great way to start our Monday. Carolina, they win. Very technically, they win. They're 14-2 overall, 2-1 in the ACC. They stay at 22 in the net. This was a quad 2 victory, and that's good news there. Right now, it's the only quad 2 result on Carolina's resume. It is the 500th win overall in the Dean Dome. Carolina is 590 all-time in the Dean E. Smith Center. The silver lining, I've got this text from a former Carolina basketball player. We were kind of joking, texting back and forth, and he said, the silver lining is we're learning how to operate in close games in crunch time, LOL. You know what? Agreed. Silver lining, Carolina wins the game, and it'll be helpful in the long run. Here's where we're headed on the show today. Who is the real UNC? And can we get Caleb some shots in the second half? I'll talk about that. We'll get to the Four Corners recap, including a new sort of starting lineup. Plus, the shady stat of the game is a whole collection of records that Caleb Wilson is already closing in on. It's crazy stuff. And that's where we got to start. As I said, what I want to figure out, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all the members of the jury, who is the real 25-26 North Carolina Tar Heels? Is it A, the team that was up by double digits just 4 minutes and 12 seconds into this basketball game and literally never trailed? Yes, Carolina led this game for 38 minutes and 56 seconds, and Wake Forest never led in this game. The minute and 4 seconds that Carolina didn't lead, it was a tie. But it does not feel that way, right? Like that's where we're sitting here. But again, if I didn't tell you the score, if I didn't tell you how anything happened, and I just said to you, hey, North Carolina on Saturday, 4 minutes and 12 seconds into the game, they were up by double digits. They never trailed, and they led for 38 minutes and 56 seconds. You would be thinking that Carolina probably won by about 30, right? And it's like, yes, way to go. But not the case at all. So, is that the real North Carolina? Or B, is the real North Carolina the team that allowed a 17-3 run over the course of 5 minutes and 20 seconds in the second half to turn a comfortable 15-point lead into a nail-biting 1-point lead with just 4 minutes to go, to which they then had to cling for dear life the whole rest of the way? Which one is the real version of this team? Or is it somewhere in between? Good grief, I hope it's closer to the first team we talked about that was taking care of business. But I think we have to take a long and hard look at the negative side of this 17-3 run. In that stretch, Carolina was 0 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. They did go to the free throw line 5 times, made 3 of them, and only 1 turnover. So it wasn't a turnover issue. They were fine at the free throw line. They couldn't make a shot. And quite frankly, they took 4 of the 6 they took were threes, and from guys that weren't hitting necessarily. I shouldn't say that. Jaydon Young was one of those. Meanwhile, on the other side, Wake Forest, 17 points, 12 of them were from Nate Calmes, who was just going insane from 3, and the other 5 were from Trayvon Spillers. And so you start to look at that and you realize part of the issue is that Carolina got away from their identity as that was going on. And the thing I talked about this on the post game was that over the course of the final 11 minutes of this game, the combination of Caleb Wilson and Henri Veesaar only took 2 field goal attempts. 2. And I honed in on Caleb because I thought back in my brain, I think this was Sunday, I was laying in bed, or Saturday night, I was laying in bed and I thought, didn't this happen last Saturday too? Let me go back and look. So Sunday, I went back and looked at the data. So in the SMU game last Saturday, Caleb took 8 field goals in the first half and just 3 in the second half. This Saturday against Wake Forest, Caleb took 7 field goals in the first half and just 2 in the second half. That means over the last 2 games, Caleb Wilson has 15 field goal attempts in the first half and just 5 in the second. And you look at that and you think, okay, he must have really stunk in the first half and nobody wanted him to shoot in the second half. Well, that ain't true at all. Against SMU, Caleb was 4 of 8 from the field, 50%. You'll take that. Well, guess what? Against Wake Forest, it was even better. He was a perfect 7 of 7 in the first half. So of those 15 field goals in the first half, Caleb shot 11 of 15. So you can't sit there and say, well, he must have been bad, because he just wasn't. And so ultimately, what it comes down to for me is that this cannot continue. If Carolina wants to be the team that I talked about first, which one is the real Carolina? If it's the team that got out to that double-digit lead very quickly and seemed in control of this game for 30 minutes, they simply have to know where their bread is buttered. You've got to know where your best assets are and get shots for them. Now, another wrinkle of it, post-game, Seth Trimble, Coach Davis both talked about the gravity that Caleb draws, meaning when Caleb has the ball, the other players are like moths to a flame. Honestly, same with Henri Veesaar. A lot of teams are doubling both of these guys. And the thing is, notice Caleb's still getting the ball in that moment. That means he's still getting touches, but it might be limiting his shots because they're going to double the ball out of his hands. Okay, fine, because Caleb is a willing and able passer. But you know what that means? It means other dudes got to knock shots down. And from Caleb's own mouth, unfortunately, that was not happening on Saturday. He said, quote, "I try to get my teammates involved as much as I can. Even today, I feel like I could have had 10 assists if my teammates made the shots that I gave them." Now, you hear that, and my brain immediately goes to, wow, throw your teammates under the bus much? But hang on, Caleb keeps going. But it's all about trusting your teammates. I feel like throughout the year, my teammates will get the shots, end quote. So Caleb's not throwing his teammates under the bus. Essentially what he's saying is, hey, today's the day they didn't make the shots, but they're going to. I trust them. I believe in them. And that's encouraging. But I don't care that other teams are doubling the ball out of Caleb's hands. You have to schematically find ways to get shots for your very best player. Or you've got to find ways to get other guys on the floor that are going to get shots when he kicks the ball wisely, because he's not like the thing we get frustrated about is when Caleb or anybody tries to force it when they're doubled. Now, I mean, if it's a quick move and he can get around it, sure, great. But there's this combination of Carolina has to have more field goal attempts from Caleb Wilson and from Henri Veesaar, but also other players are going to be wide open because of the command, the gravity that Caleb and Henri draw. So I don't care who you are; those guys got to do it or draw their own attention, get the ball to Caleb, and allow him then to finish. There's a multitude of ways to go about this. So to answer my question, by the way, going back to it, which is the real Tar Heels? Right now, unfortunately, it's a little bit of both. It's a little Jekyll and it's a little Hyde, because clearly the positive of it is we can surmise that this team is capable of building a lead like that. But unfortunately, this team is also capable, as Coach Davis talked about post-game, of taking their foot off the gas on both ends of the court and allowing a team like Wake Forest to get all the way back to within one. Now, sometimes guys are going to get hot like Nate Calmes did, and that's fine. The problem then, though, is that Carolina wasn't scoring. You've got to keep, like, if you have a 15-point lead, you're more than content to, sure, hit all the shots you want, and we're going to keep scoring too. Carolina wasn't doing that, though, and that's the issue. So North Carolina's got to figure out who are we, and part of that, and this is why I combined these things together, is getting Caleb Wilson shots. I recognize that the other team is making that difficult. You got to figure out how to beat what they're doing. Plain and simple. So Carolina traveling to California today, Monday, tonight after practice. And that's what we got to see. Wednesday night and Saturday night as Carolina plays Stanford and Cal. There it is. All right, it's time to get to the Four Corners recap of this basketball game. We did see from Coach Davis a starting lineup change. They're trying to tweak things, see what they can get. And somebody had their best day as a Tar Heel. All of that part of the Four Corners recap coming up in just a second. Right after I tell you about FanDuel, the college football playoff is here, and FanDuel is giving all customers even more ways to get in on the action every single game day of the playoffs. Because right now, every college football playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost in the app. What I love about it, you can use that profit boost on the bets you already feel good about. Maybe you want to ride with the favorite when you think that team controls the matchup, or you want to take a shot on the underdog. If you feel an upset coming, you can build a parlay around the players and moments you think will decide the game between Indiana and Miami, the national championship. And then you apply the profit boost and go after even bigger winnings. And when you win, FanDuel pays out instantly, which is perfect for playoff football. Wooden Award odds at FanDuel right now. Cam Boozer leads the way at -220. BYU's AJ Debonsa at +350. Josh Jefferson and Braden Smith from Iowa State and Purdue, third and fourth. And then Caleb Wilson at +2,500. So FanDuel is the best place to get in on the action all playoff long. Visit FanDuel.com to get your college football playoff boosts every game day. Thanks for making Locked On Tar Heels your first listener watch of the day, and for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network out there. If you'd like to get even deeper with this show, you can check out the brand new Everydayers Club, a great opportunity to go next level with the show. There's 2 different tiers. Check them both out. That link is in the show notes, lockedontarheels.supercast.com. Four Corners recap coming up. Number 1, starting lineup change for the Tar Heels on Saturday. Luka Bogavac out, Jarin Stevenson back in, along with the other 4 starters that we've been seeing: Kyan, Seth, Trimble, Caleb Wilson, Henri, Veesaar. You might recall this was the starting lineup for the first 2 games of the year because Luka wasn't really ready yet because of the whole, like, you're not eligible yet thing. And so Carolina rolled with that until Seth's injury. Then they brought Luka in place of Seth, kept the others. But now, the first 4 games that Seth Trimble had been back, it was Jarin Stevenson that was the odd man out. Now in this 5th game with Seth Trimble back, it was Luka that was the odd man out in favor of that more jumbo lineup that Carolina had gone with. My biggest thing here is this: I anticipated a change. We talked about it, but this was not the change I anticipated. My thought was that it would be Luka, but that it would be in favor of Jonathan Powell, not Jarin Stevenson, because my anticipation was that Jarin would continue to play that key critical first backup big role coming off the bench, but it was not true. However, it still didn't mean seeing James Brown or Zayden High. You saw basically the same guys we had been with a new kind of wrinkle in it for this game, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But I'm curious to see if Coach Davis will stick with this, if he's going to change again, because, I don't know. Obviously, they're trying to achieve some more height, some more defense. It's not like that switch is going to bring you a ton of offense, because that's not necessarily what Jarin Stevenson does game in and game out consistently. Every now and again, he'll pop a little bit like he did in the SMU game, but not here. So very curious to see what Coach Davis does, if he liked what he saw, and how he attacks things going forward. Four Corners recap point number 2. Even with that starting lineup change, the biggest news from a personnel standpoint was that this was Jaydon Young's biggest game as a Tar Heel, and that's great news. because beside the Jaydon Young of it all, Carolina needs guards who can contribute and who can contribute offensively by putting the ball in the bucket. And I don't care how much money you paid Kyan Evans or Jaydon Young or anybody in between, whoever's scoring and winning and helping Carolina, that's who I want to see in the lineup. And so, I mean, if you listen to our preseason player preview episodes, I didn't really expect much from Jaydon Young this season because of what else Carolina had. But he's capable. Remember, down the stretch of the season last year, had multiple big scoring outbursts. And so if that's what we're going to see from Jaydon Young, A, he's going to continue to get time, and B, it's going to help Carolina, most importantly, win basketball games, hopefully more comfortably than they did on Saturday. So this game, by far the most he's played as a Tar Heel, 19 minutes and 30 seconds. His previous high was 13 minutes and 13 seconds. So more than 6 minutes higher than any game he had played as a Tar Heel. I went and added it back up. Essentially, the previous 4 games was just about 20 minutes. So essentially, this one game more or less matched what he had done the 4 previous games combined. This is his first Jaydon Young's first time in double figures as a Tar Heel. 12 points, made 3 threes. I was 3 of 5, if I remember correctly. I'm looking. Yes. And one other made bucket. It was a transition layup. But also, here's another big important thing that Jaydon Young did. 2 assists and a big fat whopping goose egg in the turnover column, baby, because you got 2 assists, 0 turnovers. You will continue to play for the Tar Heels. If you're going to buckle down on defense, do all that stuff, you better believe Hubert Davis is going to keep you in the basketball game. Number 3 in the Four Corners recap. Offensive rebounding, as expected, played a key factor in this basketball game. We had mentioned that Wake's defensive rebounding is not a strong suit, and that offensive rebounding is a strong suit for Carolina. They're not among the elite teams offensive rebounding wise in the nation, but they are one of the better teams. They're above average in it. Well, this game in particular was Carolina's 3rd highest offensive rebounding percentage of the season, 43.3%. Funny enough, the 2 highest offensive rebounding games this season, percentage-wise, you would expect it to be one of the bye games or 2 of the bye games or something like that. Nope. Number 1, Kansas. Number 2, Kentucky. And now number 3, this game against Wake. Crazy how that works out. For Carolina, 13 total offensive rebounds. Wake had 10. And so that's in some ways a push, but here's where Carolina was able to dominate. It's not, yes, it is about getting those extra possessions or maintaining possession. However, what Carolina did with their 13 offensive rebounds was get 21 second chance points, while Wake only scored 11 second chance points. So Carolina outscores Wake by 10 in second chance points in a game that they won by 3. Critically important stuff there. Carolina crashing the offensive glass. Again, if that can be a weapon, continue to utilize it. And then Four Corners recap point number 4. For all of the Caleb Wilson talk, which he deserves every ounce of, oh, by the way, it was Henri Veesaar that led Carolina in scoring in this game, 25 points to Caleb's 22. Obviously, that's 1A and 1B. That front court, man, is an entity unto itself. But Henri, 25 points, 9 of 10 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3, and 5 of 7 at the free throw line. Chip in, oh, by the way, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover, 1 block, and 1 steal. I mean, my goodness. Talk about affecting winning in a multitude of ways. Henri does that. He brings the energy, the emotion. He keeps his team fired up, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And if we zoom out beyond this game and look big picture, let me just tell you what Henri Veesaar is doing. He is now shooting 64.8% from the field. That right now is second. Like if the season ended today, he would be ranked second in career field goal percentage, minimum 100 made field goals. Behind only Veesaar Lubin has the highest ever, 68.4%. Now, elsewhere in Carolina's record book, the way they manage this is the requirements are 100 made field goals and at least 2 years played for the Tar Heels. So in that regard, you wouldn't count Veesaar or Henri what they've done. But you know what? That's my record book, and that's how I'm counting it. So crazy stuff. And in single season, his field goal percentage is 3rd all time behind what Veesaar Lubin did last year. And Brendan Haywood, Yes, who had 69.7% from the field in the 99-2000 season, which is absolutely crazy. How about Henri's three-point shooting, which continues to be wild? He was 2 of 3 in this game. He's shooting 51.2%, which again, if the season ended today, he would be second in career three-point field goal percentage, minimum 10 made threes. He's 23 of 40. Henri is 20. That's Joe Wolf's number. Henri, let me get back to it, is 21 of 41 right now, which is 51.2%. Number one all time in career minimum 10 made is Joe Wolf, who hit 23 of 49 in the 80. Well, in his career, 83 through 87, which is crazy stuff. And then if the season ended today, Henri would be fourth all time in single season. I mean, it's just bonkers what this dude is doing. And it is, for all of the headlines that Caleb gets, baby, you better not overlook Henri Veesaar, because he is bringing it game in and game out for the Tar Heels. Really good stuff. And again, I've been begging for both these guys to get 20-10 dubs in the same game. And we were one Henri Veesaar rebound shy of it in this one. But it's going to happen. I'm telling you, man. All right, it's time to get to the shady stat of the game, which is actually a whole bunch of stats coming together, but I'll explain why I'm doing so. And we'll have our weekend whip around, all that coming up in just a second. Right after I tell you about Wayfair, y'all, the new year is here and it's the perfect time to reset your routine and refresh your space. If you're spending more time at home because it's cold and nobody wants to go outside, you might as well love how it looks and feels. And that's why you should turn to Wayfair, one-stop shop for getting your home back on track. From bedding and mattresses to storage solutions for every room, Wayfair makes life easier to start the year fresh. They got everything you need for a full home refresh, all in one place. Maybe you're updating your living room or organizing your spaces, upgrading your work from home setup, which I need to do. Oh, by the way, Wayfair, help me out here. Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find exactly what you're looking for and that fits your style and budget. We're getting ready to do some painting over in our living room. And after we do that, going to definitely need some new furniture pieces to help spruce up that space. So shopping is easy, delivery smooth, and everything arrives exactly as expected. It honestly is going to make getting back into a new routine this new year feel a lot more manageable. So get organized, refreshed, and back on track this new year for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now and shop all things home. Again, that's wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. It's time for the shady stat of the game. It's funny, as I look at YouTube, I can see in my sunglasses, I can see my computer screen reflected. Let me show you the ring light. I can show you everything going on behind the scenes reflected in my aviators. That's pretty funny. I've been meaning to do this for a while because with all the crazy Caleb Wilson numbers, he's getting so close to finding himself amongst the stars of Carolina lore, landing on all these record lists, either getting to the top of them or top 5, things like that. So I've been meaning to start compiling all that, and I've begun to do so now. So I've just got a whole amalgamation of various record book things that Caleb Wilson is closing in on. So I'm just going to read them off. Most 20-point games as a freshman. Tyler Hansbrough has the most with 14. Rashad McCants 12. Phil Ford 10. Well, Caleb already has 11, so he's third on this list. By the time he comes back from California, he could be second and could tie it against, what would that be? Who's next? Notre Dame would be the third game from now. So there you go. Most 20-point games in a single season, any class. This isn't just freshmen. The record is 28 by Lenny Rosenbluth, 27 by Hansbrough in 07-08. 26 by Antoine Jameson in 97-98, 23 by RJ Davis in his ACC Player of the Year season, 23 by Bobby Lewis, 22 by Charlie Scott and Larry Miller. Caleb already has 11. Is that the number? 20-point games? Let me go back to Caleb's page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, 11. So Caleb with 11 more would find his way onto the list in the regular season. I mean, that's insane. Highest scoring average for a freshman. I just got to tell you who leads it right now. It's Tyler Hansbrough at 18.9. Right now, Caleb's at 19.5. If things stay the same, he will lead that list. Most points by a freshman in a season. Joe Forte leads this one, 600 points on the dot, followed by McCants at 594, Hansbrough 587, Harrison Barnes 580, Kobe White 562. Caleb is already sitting at 312, so over half of Joe Forte's. Carolina just passed the halfway mark. If Caleb stays at his scoring average, he will break this Joe Forte record in the regular season. He wouldn't even need the postseason. Most double-figure scoring games to begin a freshman season. Rashad McCants, so this is like from game one, how many games can you score double figures in your freshman year? Rashad McCants, 20 straight. Brandon Wright's 18 straight. Other than that, nobody else has more than 6. Tony Bradley and Michael Jordan both had 6. Caleb's at 16 right now. So he's already third on this list and careening towards yet leading another one. Most games scoring in double figures as a freshman. Brandon Wright and Rashad McCants lead at 33. Joe Forte and Sam Perkins, 32. J.R. Reed, 31. Obviously, Caleb right now has scored double figures in every game, so is at 16 and well on his way to joining those fellas. Most rebounds in a game by a freshman. This is a single game thing. Anton Jameson had 20, and then there's a whole bunch of dudes that had 16 in a game. Caleb has tied that. That's his most. Could see him easily getting to or breaking Anton's number. Most games in double-figure rebounds in a season, regardless of class, not just a freshman. So most games in double-figure rebounds in a season. Armando leads the way with 32. That is absurd, you guys. Bryce Johnson is second at 23. Billy Cunningham, 22. At 21, Armando in another season. John Henson in 2 different seasons. Antoine again. Antoine wasn't on this list. And then Billy Cunningham again. Caleb right now has 11 double-figure rebound games. Again, he should work his way onto this list. This one is crazy to me. Most rebounds in a season by a freshman. Antoine Jameson has the most at 309. I'll just jump all the way down. Caleb right now is at 176. At his current pace, he would obliterate Antoine's record in the regular season. Again, Antoine, the leader at 309, Caleb at 176. Highest rebounding average for a freshman. Antoine Jameson, 9.6. Caleb right now is at 11. More than a rebound higher than that. Most double-doubles, points, and rebounds in a season, any class, not just freshman. Mondo obviously leads the way, 31. Bryce Johnson second at 23. Billy Cunningham, 22. Antoine Jameson, 21. Mitch Kupchak, Billy Cunningham, Doug Moe each had 20 in a season. Mondo did 19 and 2. So he's on this list 3 times, Hansbrough and Larry Miller. Caleb already has 11 double-doubles, so he could very well work his way onto this. Most double-doubles for a freshman. Antoine Jameson had 13, Armando 11. Several dudes had 9, but it doesn't matter. Caleb's already passed them. He's got 11, tied with Armando for second on that list. And here's the last one. Most consecutive double-doubles by a freshman. Armando twice, Antoine Jameson and Michael Corrin each had streaks of 3. Caleb's already had 2 streaks of 3 and a streak of 4. So he's already got the most here, most consecutive double-doubles by a freshman. Caleb Wilson with 4 is the leader all time. I mean, it's insane, you guys. I mean, it's just like, that's a whole bunch of them I'm just listing off, and we're halfway through the season, and he's already doing all that. It is absolutely wild, and he's going to continue to make it happen. All right, let's get to the weekend whip around to wrap up the Monday show. Unfortunately, the ladies got trucked up at Notre Dame on Sunday. I don't know if you're watching this game. I was, and it was sad. The ladies lose 50-73. They're now 13-5 on the season. Frustratingly for them, I know they're 2-3 in ACC play. They're going to fall out of the rankings today when it refreshes almost undoubtedly. Carolina matched the Irish in scoring in the second and fourth quarters. The problem, the first quarter, Irish won 15-9, but the biggest problem was the third quarter where Notre Dame beat Carolina 22-5. Hannah Hidalgo goes off for 31 in this thing. I mean, she's so insanely good. Carolina had just 6 assists and 22 turnovers. Now, there's your bugaboo right there. Got to get better with that. Women's tennis had their first match of the season, blanked Campbell 7-0. Literally doubles won 6-0 and 6-0. In singles, the heels, I'll just say it this way. Of the 6 singles, Carolina dropped no sets and a total of 5 games. That's it. that is dominance. Really, really good stuff to kick off the season there for the ladies. Gymnastics had a quad meet down in Florida. Gators hosting this thing, also with West Virginia and Temple. Heels get second in the event. West Virginia and Temple way behind. Carolina, program record for most points to open a season. Really, really good stuff. 196.675. Swimming and diving were home against Boston College and UNC Wilmington on Friday. Swept it all. The women obliterated BC 222-66. And same thing with UNC Wilmington, 209.5 to 84.5. Claimed all but one event. The men beat BC 219-77 and Wilmington 232-66. Oh my. And they won every event in that one. Great job by swimming and diving. As a reminder, the fencing Junior Olympics are ongoing right now, all the way through. I believe tomorrow is the last day of that. So there you go, guys. A brand new week of the show kicking off for you. Hopefully you got to check out the live postcast on Saturday, as well as my interview with Ed Mabe, who is the director and producer of We're Number One, the new ACC Raycom Sports documentary about the 93 Tar Heels. That was a fun interview. Would love for you to check it out. It's in the audio feed. We dropped it on YouTube as well over the weekend. Great stuff. Speaking of interviews, coming up next weekend, I'm going to interview Jackson Watkins, who was former walk-on at North Carolina. He wrote a book. Really, really cool stuff. So we're going to talk about his book and what's going on in his life now. Going to be a fun interview. We're recording Saturday, but like right before the game. So I'll probably have that come out on Sunday of next weekend if you want to get into that. All right, you guys, if you haven't subscribed to the show, video and audio, check it out right now. Subscribe. It's so easy to do. Great way to stay locked in with the show and help spread the reach of it. Check out the brand new Everydayers Club. That link's in the show notes, as is the link for the Locked On Tar Heels Discord, man. Would love to have all of you in either or both of those groups. It's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. We'll be back tomorrow to talk more, but until then, peace.